You are listening to the Why Smart Women podcast, the podcast that helps smart women work out why we repeatedly make the wrong decisions and how to make better ones. From relationships, career choices, finances, to faux fur jackets and kale smoothies. Every moment of every day, we're making decisions. Let's make them good ones. I'm your host, Annie McCubbin, and as a woman of a certain age, I've made my own share of really bad decisions. Not my husband. I don't mean him, though. I did go through some shockers to find him. And I wish this podcast had been around to save me from myself. This podcast will give you insights into the working of your own brain, which will blow your mind. I acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which I'm recording, and you are listening on this day. Always was, always will be, Aboriginal land. Well, hello, smart women. If any of you had been listening to the audiobook of Why Smart Women Make Bad Decisions and How Critical Thinking Can Protect Them, which we have played over about the last 10 weeks, you might like to tune in to the next 15 weeks and listen to the audio recording of my second book, which is Why Smart Women Buy the Lies and How Critical Thinking Reveals the Truth. So this is a continuation of the hapless character Kat, how she identifies the flaws in her thinking and finally makes better decisions. If you find yourself tuning in and you are perhaps in episode 3 or episode 4, by all means, go back to episode 1 and follow the narrative because it has a very strong narrative arc. So, relax, kick back, get yourself a cup of tea or a glass of wine and listen to the audio version of Why Smart Women Buy the Lies and How Critical Thinking Reveals the Truth. See you soon. Bye. Chapter 2. Someone is sobbing in the toilet. You're back in the office. You have completely lost confidence in your view of yourself as an intelligent, thinking woman. You have always been scathing about people getting caught up in scams, and now you have joined their gullible ranks. Some 3-person outfit with a computer in a Kuala Lumpur garage convinced you it was eBay. Despite Michael's reassurances that it could happen to anyone and these scammers were very sophisticated, you're humiliated. The bank has assured you your money will be returned, but you should know better. You work in communications. You enter the bathroom. Someone is sobbing in the toilet cubicle. You don't know who it is. The sobbing is rising and falling in cadence. With every drop in intensity, you creep towards the exit, only to be drawn back to the sink by another bout of weeping. The cubicle door opens. Lisbeth, one of your direct reports, emerges. She's dabbing at her eyes with toilet paper.
You okay, Lisbeth?
She may have heard redundancy whispers that you've been unaware of. This sets off a highly unhelpful train of thought about the security of your own position.
What is it?
You ask.
I hate Ryan.
There are 2 Ryans in your team, Ryan Schmidt and Ryan Kraft. It's the cause of much confusion.
Right, yep.
She is now examining herself in the mirror. Her crying has transmuted from a keening to a hiccuping sobbing.
I'm angry,
she says, blowing her nose into the toilet paper.
Right.
but I can't access it, so I cry. I cry when I'm angry.
Yeah, me too.
Really?
She says, looking at you keenly through swollen eyes.
I can't imagine you getting angry.
You are her manager. You feel that to have authority, your direct report should at least be able to imagine you getting angry.
No, I do get angry. Really angry.
Lisbeth has lost interest in whether or not you get angry.
Can you believe that behaviour in the meeting this morning?
She says.
I wasn't in the meeting this morning. I had a conference call with Melbourne.
Well, I walked in and the meeting went dead silent. I was only 5 minutes late, so nobody else is ever late. So I look at Ryan because it's his meeting and I smile and he stonewalls me. I'm sure they were talking about me. Ryan and Sarah.
Sarah? No.
I tell you, I don't think she can be trusted. She's an underminer. I'm going to ask to move teams.
You don't want her to ask to move teams. It's not good for your reputation. You need to be able to manage problems between your team members.
Oh, right. Well, Ryan's a bit short-sighted, so maybe he couldn't see you smiling.
Two things. Not that Ryan. And whose side are you on?
Well, nobody's until I find out what happened.
I just told you what happened. Why don't you believe me?
Your conflict resolution training flickers at the edge of your brain. You hear Michelle, the trainer, saying, "Keep your counsel. Do not roll over and immediately agree with the first person's interpretation of the event." What would Michelle know? She's not standing in the bathroom with swollen-eyed Lisbeth.
I'm leaning in your direction.
You say.
I'm so polite to everybody.
She says.
If somebody smiles at me, I smile back. How hard is it?
Yep. You're super friendly.
Yes, I am. And where does it get me?
You start to answer, then realise the question is rhetorical. You want to leave the bathroom. The door to the bathroom opens. You are pleased. It's Adele, your team's project manager.
Adele, hi. How's your snake?
You say. You never thought you'd willingly engage Adele in conversation about her pet snake, but these are desperate times.
She's great, Kat. Want to see a picture?
She approaches you with her phone, looks up and notices Lisbeth.
What's up, Lisbeth?
Lisbeth shakes her head. Adele puts her arm around her. You are relieved at the intervention, but worried about the lack of safe social distancing.
Everyone's talking about me behind my back, and Ryan completely ignored me,
says Lisbeth.
Don't take that personally,
says Adele, giving Lisbeth an encouraging hug before entering a stall.
He's really short-sighted.
Not that Ryan.
You say.
Ryan Kraft and Sarah. It was humiliating.
She says, bursting into fresh tears.
Okay,
Says Adele, emerging from the stall.
what happened?
You can't bear to hear the retelling again.
She thinks everybody was talking about her because the room went silent when she entered the team meeting this morning.
I don't think they were. I know they were.
Says Lisbeth.
It was so rude.
You notice Lisbeth is now successfully accessing her anger.
The door to the bathroom opens again. It's Sarah. Lisbeth straightens.
Hi, guys.
Says Sarah. She looks at Lisbeth.
Are you okay?
Yes,
Says Lisbeth.
I'm fine.
Okay, good. Look, sorry to be stalking you, but I'm doing a quick whip around for Ryan.
Says Sarah.
Which Ryan?
Says Adele.
Ryan Kraft? He's having a bad day. He bought his girlfriend an engagement ring, paid $5,000, so much more than he can afford. It's a fake.
No.
Says Adele.
It arrived in the mail, cubic zirconia, worth about $50.
So, when did you find out?
Says Lisbeth.
In that meeting this morning. You were there, or was it just before you came in?
There is a sharp intake of breath from Lisbeth.
Anyway, he's devastated. We all just sat there in silence.
Right.
You say.
So we thought we could all chip in, buy him something to cheer him up.
You and Adele catch Lisbeth's eye in the mirror.
Or you could just give him the cash.
Says Adele.
Yes.
Says Sarah. There is a pause.
Are you sure you're okay, Lisbeth?
Says Sarah.
Allergies.
Says Lisbeth. She gives her nose an enormous blow, throws the toilet paper into the bin, reaches into her handbag, takes out a $50 note and hands it to Sarah.
This is from us.
She says. Sarah holds the note.
Wow, that's so lovely, Lisbeth.
From all three of us.
Says Lisbeth.
Thank you.
Says Sarah, tucking the $50 note into her plastic Ziploc collection bag.
Hey, Lisbeth, I think I've got some antihistamine in my handbag.
I'm good.
Okay, thanks.
Sarah exits.
Poor bloody Ryan.
Says Adele.
It's too easy to get scammed these days. When I bought Emma, the so-called breeder I found online tried to sell me a corn snake.
That's outrageous.
You say.
Thought I couldn't tell the difference between a Stimson's python and a corn snake.
She says, shaking her head.
Wow.
Says Lisbeth.
Hey, while you're all in the giving mood, my sister asked me to invite people to her place tonight.
Says Adele.
Free wine and food.
Free wine?
You say.
Yep, just a couple of hours. You'll discover the life-changing magic of makeup and supplements.
Tonight?
Says Lisbeth.
Yeah, come on, Lisbeth. You like a free feed?
What about me?
You say.
And you like free wine? Come on, I'll drive you.
Says Adele, smiling at you in the mirror.
Okay.
Says Lisbeth. They exit. With Adele gently patting Lisbeth's shoulder, the door shuts. You apply lipstick, pull an angry face. Lisbeth doesn't know what she's talking about. You look quite fierce. Who wants to be a boss babe? It's 8:20 p.m. You've been at Jane's for 1 hour and 12 minutes. Jane lives in a small flat in Lane Cove, Sydney. Jane didn't want to use her good glasses, so you're drinking wine from small plastic glasses with detachable stems. These stems are problematic as they're prone to detach at inopportune moments, like every time you put the glass down.
Hi, hun.
Jane says to everyone who enters.
Grab yourself a wine and a snack. We'll get going when all the other girls arrive.
Lisbeth does not look thrilled with the snack. Jat's biscuits, cheddar squares and tiny pieces of cabanossi. The other girls are taking their time. Adele is telling you why she chose the name Emma for her snake.
It's after the girl in the film.
She says.
The old Emma or the new Emma?
You say.
The old Emma.
So your snake looks like Gwyneth Paltrow.
Yeah, around the mouth.
Your snake should start a goop empire.
The arrival of a red-haired girl brings the room to a quarter full. Jane moves and stands in front of the faux fireplace. Jane is the dead opposite of Adele, who has short, easy-to-manage hair and wears hiking pants, boots and no makeup. Jane is sporting Hollywood hair, thick eyebrows, seriously inflated lips, inch-thick foundation and long, intricately decorated acrylic nails. She is nervous.
Welcome, future boss babes.
She says.
I'm so excited to see you all here.
She looks down at her palm cards.
Today is the day you can choose to turn your lives around.
Lisbeth starts chewing the side of her nail. Adele looks at the floor.
Okay,
Says Jane, smiling broadly.
I can tell you're all fun babes.
You wish she would stop calling you babes, and Adele is one of the least fun people you've ever met.
But who here would like to be a boss babe?
You look around you. The boss babes sit silently in their chairs, gnawing on their jats. You feel bad for Jane.
I'd like to be a boss babe.
You say.
Amazing. You'd like to work part-time from your own home and make a full-time wage.
You narrow your eyes at Adele.
Yes,
Says Adele.
we'd all like that.
Amazing. So, I'm going to demonstrate a line of products developed with women like you in mind.
Excuse me,
Says Adele.
do you have any other crackers?
I'm so sorry I don't, but I do have this.
She sprays something from a small navy bottle into her mouth.
Who wants to try it?
She says.
I'll try it,
Says Adele.
if you let me have a look in your pantry.
Jane looks aggrieved but agrees. She delivers a squirt from the blue bottle into Adele's mouth.
Wow, it's like Aperol without the alcohol. What is it?
Jane shuffles her palm cards, drops one, bends over to pick it up but cannot get any traction on the wooden floor with her acrylics. It's like watching Edward Scissorhands. After an excruciating 35 seconds, you stand up, pick up the card and hand it to her.
Thanks, hun.
She says.
Awesome. So, back to business.
She holds up the spray next to her cheek.
This is our post-exercise cellular endurance mitochondrial replacement EC spritz. It's organic and completely biodegradable. There are no parabens or endocrine disruptors. It's incredibly effective and ethical.
Wow,
You say.
sounds amazing.
What's it do?
Says Adele.
What doesn't it do?
Says Jane.
The spritz is my star product. It elongates the effects of exercise hours after the workout. The neurotransmitters keep active by redirecting the carbanoid phages to where they're needed. So it's also an immune booster. It's part of a total post-workout.
There is silence. Jane punches through.
I love this so much. It has turned my life around. It's amazing. Imagine having a product this good to sell. Imagine how thrilled your friends will be. Imagine being your own boss babe.
She grinds to a halt. Adele has wandered off into her kitchen in search of more crackers. What are the other products? Clearly, the only way you'll be released from this torture is to encourage Jane to get to the end of her presentation.
There's an EC whey protein.
Says Jane.
There's hibiscus flower psyllium for fibre gut health. There's a post-workout face toner that prepares your face for the post-workout sun-kissed moisturising emollient.
Does that have sunscreen in it?
Says the red-haired girl. Jane looks stumped, then recovers.
No, it doesn't. Sunscreen contains microparticles and it's toxic. The sun is a source of vitamin D. You shouldn't be frightened of it.
The red-haired girl picks up her plastic mini glass of wine and drains it. She looks out the window.
Okay, who is ready to turn their life around?
Says Jane. You put your hand up.
Okay, hun. This is the meeting point between supplements and skincare. You go to the gym, spritz your face and put the sun-kissed emollient on. You're ready to start the day. This is the future. We're knocking everyone else out of the park. These products are your pathway to freedom.
Isn't this pyramid selling?
Says the red-haired girl. Jane is ready for this question.
This isn't a pyramid scheme. Working in corporate is a pyramid scheme.
She rocks back on her heels. You feel the red-haired girl is readying to take Jane on. You don't want this. You want to go home.
I'd like to try the spritz.
You say.
Awesome.
Says Jane. You open your mouth. She gives you a short spray. Your mouth starts to tingle.
Excuse me, I need to go to the bathroom.
The light in the bathroom is flickering, but you can see enough to notice that your mouth has turned orange. You rinse your mouth out, but the tingling persists. You venture out into the lounge room. You're going into anaphylaxis. You're going to die in the middle of a multi-level marketing pitch in Lane Cove. Jane is still standing near the fireplace. You grab her arm and whisper urgently into her ear.
My mouth is tingling.
You say to her.
I think my tongue is swelling.
No problem.
Says Jane, handing you a plastic cup of warm wine. You down it in one go. Your tongue returns to its normal size.
Oh, sorry. All good now.
You take your seat next to Lisbeth. She's sitting with her chin on her hand, scrolling through Instagram.
Awesome.
Says Jane. She addresses the group.
Now, you're probably having some negative thoughts like, am I a good enough salesperson to sell these products? Banish those thoughts. Say, negative thoughts, be gone. Okay, who'd like to sign up?
Jane?
Calls Adele from the kitchen.
Adele, I'm in the middle of the onboarding. If you want to ask me something, come here.
Jane smiles at her potential boss babes. Adele appears in the doorway.
Sorry, but I'm pretty sure you had some saladas. Any clue?
No, I don't.
Says Jane tightly.
Well, there's no need to be snippy.
Says Adele.
Adele, if you weren't going to be supportive, why did you come?
Because Mum made me.
The boss babes look down at their mostly empty plastic wine glasses. You pull the stem out of your glass and chew on it. Jane takes a deep breath and smiles.
If you decide to sign up tonight, you'll become a vital part of the Supple Beauty family. You'll never be alone. We'll support you every inch step of the way. Any questions?
Who's an empath?
Your sister's pretty different to you.
Says Lisbeth in the car on the way home.
She's straight for starters.
Says Adele.
How long has Jane been...
You ask.
Flogging Supple Beauty?
Says Adele.
This is pretty new. I've got no idea who she is anymore. She was a software engineer.
No.
Says Lisbeth.
Yeah, she was at Zambitzi in the digital payments team. Lost a job. She's super smart. The system was running virtually error-free. Her team loved her.
Zambitzi is huge.
Says Lisbeth.
Not as huge as it used to be. Gabriel Randall ran a razor through it. Made a name for himself.
Gabrielle who?
Gabrielle Randall?
You say.
The DeGrace consultant? The transformation guru who's about to land with us?
And now she can't get a job doing what she's brilliant at. She's stuck trying to sell the skin stuff. I shouldn't have made a fuss about the saladas.
Poor Jane. You look out the car window. You wish you didn't feel other people's pain so acutely. You had felt Jane's disappointment so intensely that you had to sit on your hands to stop yourself from signing up. Yesterday you heard a woman at a cafe telling her friend that she was an empath.
That's the trouble with me.
She'd said.
I'm an empath.
Me too.
The friend had said.
I'm just so raw. I feel absolutely everything. It's a nightmare.
It seemed to me she felt everything except the irritation of the first woman for being one-upped in the empathy stakes.
I think I'm an empath.
You say to the car in general.
Oh, me too.
Says Lisbeth.
Don't be so ridiculous.
Says Adele.
What even is that? It's a stupid made-up name.
Adele, as usual, is correct. Sensitivity is not a competition. Spotlight on Lisbeth. The lie that inspires Lisbeth to descend into a downward spiral of fury and misery is one she tells herself. She interprets the silence in the meeting as being relevant to her. The cognitive bias interfering with her capacity to remain more rational in her response is called the spotlight effect. This is the illusion that people are noticing you more than they are. You perceive yourself to be more relevant to the situation than is accurate. The spotlight effect causes a world of misunderstanding both in our personal lives and in the workplace. It makes us hyper-aware of every action that we take, every word we utter, and the way we look. And we assume other people have this awareness of us too. This is fortunately untrue. People are as self-involved as we are and are therefore not paying us as much attention as we think. A small spot on your face or stain on your shirt can feel obvious to you, but it's barely noticeable to the observer. They're too busy wondering if their pants are too tight. When you're asked a question in a meeting and you fumble through papers to find the data, that moment can feel excruciating to you, but it's hardly observed by the other members of the team who are all rehearsing what they're about to say in their head. That disconcerting moment when you walk into a room and the person is cold and dismissive or barely registers your hello is nothing to do with you. Maybe they've just found out their share portfolio tanked. The sensation of being in the spotlight and therefore judged is highly exaggerated. It's good practice to remind yourself that other people have whole lives of their own with myriad concerns and problems, and the likelihood of you being the centre of their attention is low. In corporate cultures that are crying out for innovation, the spotlight effect reduces the likelihood that employees will take risks. It encourages a deep conservatism and homogeneity in the expression of ideas. The spotlight effect also services imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome is an unfortunately common perception that people will discover you're a fake. It's the disturbing feeling that other people are capable, but you don't know anything, that you have been pretending the whole time to be competent. It's believing that any day now, the truth will out, and everyone will know you are useless and underqualified. If these sentiments resonate with you, you've been in the grip of imposter syndrome. The spotlight effect only exacerbates this simmering sense of fraudulence. So, back to the story. Lisbeth, already feeling like she's on the back foot for being late, walks into the meeting and immediately assumes that the silence in the room and the lack of eye contact from her colleagues is related to her. She then nurses the perceived grievance, which means she's not able to turn her focus outward and consider the option that the silence was irrelevant to her. Once Lisbeth is in her heightened state, feeling judged, her capacity to remain rational is greatly reduced. Lisbeth could have saved herself a lot of upset. She could have noticed that the atmosphere in the room has triggered an emotional response in her. This would have allowed her to take a couple of breaths, giving herself some time to consider the option that she was in the grip of the spotlight effect. She could have further reduced the influence of the spotlight effect by reminding herself of the facts of the situation, saying to herself, "Now hang on here, what's actually going on?" This would have allowed her rational mind to view the situation with clarity. She could have then taken her seat and tuned into the meeting. At an appropriate moment, she could have asked someone at the table if something was going on she was unaware of. She'd have then discovered that the silence in the meeting was unrelated to her. So, next time you want to get up on the dance floor, go for it. And remember, the woman sitting at the next table who seems to be watching you is probably worrying that everyone's noticed how many champagne she's had and wondering if she can sneak in another. Multi-level marketing. Multi-level marketing, MLM, is astoundingly common. Australia has nearly 500,000 direct sellers. It will be no surprise to you that 77% are women and that 99% of all participants lose money. Why do we buy it? Because our brains betray us. Multi-level marketing's lie is that if you become a boss babe, a world of wealth autonomy, and support will be yours. It works on an us and them mentality. The losers work for other people, and the winners choose to join the multi-level marketing family and be their own boss. The language multi-level marketing peddlers use stimulates you to imagine a future in which you are financially independent and living a carefree life. Once you've agreed that, yes, you would like to be rich, 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 they invite you to join their happy, supportive organisation. Consistency bias kicks in. You've agreed you want to be rich, so why wouldn't you agree to become a boss babe? Part of the multi-level marketing strategy is to love bomb you, to be wildly supportive, using language specific to the multi-level marketing. This specific language, which infers you are special enough to be part of the exclusive multi-level marketing, fires off in-group bias in your brain. Jane uses incomprehensible gobbledygook to impress the potential boss babes, hoping they'll believe that the science and research behind the products is valid. The words she uses sound scientific, but they're not. They are used incorrectly and interchangeably. They're designed to give the impression that people in white lab coats have worked long hours to create these amazing products. Be careful when you read or hear these types of words in any context. They are also favoured by Instagram influencers who are never happier than when they are uttering the phrase endocrine disruptors. Our brains are easily triggered into in-group bias. We form into groups very quickly, even if the group is random. If we've been told to sit with a group of people on a program we're attending, those people will, in our brains, become our team, and we will, if required, give them preferential treatment. Our forebears were more likely to survive if they were loyal to a group. If there's an in-group, there must be an out-group. And in multi-level marketing, the out-group is the people who aren't smart enough to sign up. Those who do sign up to multi-level marketing organisations will find the delicious support of belonging to the in-group is withdrawn if they're not hitting the numbers. Many multi-level marketing organisations go from being highly supportive to ghosting members overnight. This can be a highly distressing experience for people, especially if they've pinned their hopes on being financially saved. I should note here that Jane is also a victim of the multi-level marketing lie. The Janes of this world, who often enter multi-level marketing organisations off the back of job losses, relationship breakups, or slick Instagram marketing campaigns, often invest money they never recover. Also, intelligence doesn't protect you from being sucked in. Jane is clearly an intelligent and capable woman. Making quick, impulsive decisions on the back of a feeling leaves you vulnerable to being scammed, no matter how appealing it sounds. If someone is touting a multi-level marketing organisation, put your wine glass down, swallow your cabanossi, excuse yourself and leave. Someone at the top of the organisation is rich, but it's never, ever going to be you. Lie detection. You are not fake news. It's not about you. Watch out for the spotlight effect telling you lies about how relevant you are. Kick imposter syndrome in the posterior. We all feel it. It's rubbish. Don't be someone else's boss babe. Multi-level marketing is a big, fat lie. If you are tempted to get involved, go and flush some baked notes down the toilet. It's quicker and less painful. End of Chapter 2. Thanks for tuning into Why Smart Women with me, Annie McCubbin. I hope today's episode has ignited your curiosity and left you feeling inspired by my anti-motivational style. Join me next time as we continue to unravel the fascinating layers of our brains and develop ways to sort out the fact from the fiction and the over 6,000 thoughts we have in the course of every day. Remember, intelligence isn't enough. You can be as smart as paint, but it's not just about what you know, it's about how you think. And in all this talk of whether or not you can trust your gut, if you ever feel unsafe, whether it's in the street, at work, in the car park, in a bar, or in your own home, please respect that gut feeling. Staying safe needs to be our primary objective. We can build better lives, but we have to stay safe to do that. And don't forget to subscribe, rate and review the podcast and share it with your fellow smart women and allies. Together, we're hopefully reshaping the narrative around women and making better decisions. So until next time, stay sharp, stay savvy, and keep your critical thinking hat shiny. This is Annie McCubbin signing off from Why Smart Women. See you later. This episode was produced by Harrison Hess. It was executive produced and written by me, Annie McCubbin.